Hi YouTube! Thanks to you all for watching and commenting, I really appreciate it. As the title says, this video is about sleep. I know sleep is an issue for a lot of people with bipolar. In fact, probably most people with bipolar. Whether it's sleeping too much when you're depressed, or sleeping too little when you're manic. Or just sleeping too little all the time if you're like me and have chronic insomnia. My own experience with insomnia goes all the way back to being a little kid. I remember watching the clock go from midnight to 1 a.m. to 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. back when I was only 7 or 8 years old. I would still wake up early and just not feel tired. I did this from that age onward. In fact, it got worse over time. By the time I hit puberty, I would stay up until 4 or 5 a.m. and still get up for school. In the summers, I would stay up till sunrise and sleep until the afternoon. And I think that's actually my natural sleep pattern. I think my circadian rhythms are just kind of completely off. There's actually a sleep disorder called Delay Sleep Phase Syndrome, or DSPD. I don't know if I actually have that disorder because I've never been to a sleep clinic or anything, but it does seem to fit the bill. Anyway, my usual sleep schedule if I'm left to my own devices and don't have anything to do in the morning is to stay up until dawn and then get up in the afternoon. When I'm hypomanic or manic, it's about the same. I just stay up until sunrise and then get up 1 to 3 hours later. So I sleep from, say, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. or something like that. When I eventually started getting treatment, my treatment team eventually caught on to the fact that my sleep is really messed up and probably a huge trigger for my manic and depressive episodes. I'm the kind of person who doesn't sleep at all when I'm manic and sleeps very little when I'm depressed, instead of sleeping all day and all night like some people do when they're depressed. I've been prescribed a lot of things for it. I've been prescribed Ambien, which worked for like a week, but then it stopped. I've also been prescribed trazodone, which I really liked, even though it didn't make me sleep 8 hours like a normal person. It just helped me get 5 to 7 hours, which is pretty good for me. But I had to go off the trazodone because I had somewhat of a manic episode on it, and my psychiatrist says that trazodone can sometimes cause mania. I've recently been prescribed Klonopin, which works pretty well, but for the most part I feel like I'm unsedatable. The antipsychotics don't knock me out, the Ambien doesn't knock me out, the Klonopin doesn't knock me out, nothing knocks me out. My therapists in the past have harped on about sleep hygiene, which is all the stuff you're supposed to do or supposed to avoid before going to bed, like looking at screens or reading in bed or doing anything other than sleep or sex in your bed. And you're supposed to have very strict bedtime and wake time, and you're supposed to have a solid nightly routine, like brushing your teeth, then stretching, then reading for a while, then going to bed, or something like that. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't have very good sleep hygiene at all. But even during times when I've had really good nightly routines and a stable sleep and wake time, I've still had terrible insomnia. The problem for me is racing thoughts. My brain just doesn't turn off. Instead of drifting nicely off to sleep like a normal person, my brain stays in overdrive. It's like I have 4 channels of music playing at once, one in the upper left part of my brain, one in the upper right, one in the lower left, and one in the lower right. And they're all playing distinct music, and it's all booming loud and in different styles. And then on top of that, I have several trains of thought bobbing and weaving between one another like a roller coaster ride. And then on top of that, I have thoughts about those trains of thought, and thoughts linking the different trains and holding them together. And then last but not least, I have thoughts about the thoughts that link and hold together the original trains of thought. So as you can imagine, it's hard to sleep when your brain is doing this. But I have no idea how to make it stop other than with meds, and even the meds don't do it very well. I've tried meditation and deep breathing and things like that, but I have such badly racing thoughts that I find it just impossible to get started. It's really nice to be able to think extraordinarily quickly during the day when you're supposed to be using your brain, but it really just sucks at night. Does anyone else have this problem? If you do, what do you do to cope? Have you found a magical sleep med that knocks out your racing thoughts? Or if you don't have this problem, I'm curious about what your experience with sleep has been. Has poor sleep been a warning sign of a manic episode? I'm a little worried about that right now because I haven't slept at all in the past 3 days and still have tons of energy, and I just took 1 milligram of Klonopin and 10 milligrams of Saffras. Okay, so I think this video has been long enough. Thank you so much for watching, and please comment with feedback regarding my questions. I would really appreciate it. It would be nice to know I'm not the only one with horrible sleep problems. Alright, thank you.